Welcome back to the Mad Spideyverse. I'm Mad Spidey, and thank you once again for tuning into my channel. Today's episode is going to be another one of my statue collection episodes or videos or series, whatever you want to call it. I think up to episode, I think it's 42. So still slowly getting through all these things, and there's obviously, as I said, a lot more to go. Now, as I've described 41 other times before, my statue collection is basically all Bowen Designs statues. Now, Bowen Designs was the company back in the day, back in the mid to late 90s to early 2000s. They basically did three ranges. They did a mini bust, a mini statue, and a full-size statue. The mini statue was 99 times out of 100 was exactly the same as the full-size statue. They eventually pretty much canned the mini statues after a few phases. But they were, as I said, they were pretty much exactly the same as the full size. So I decided early on not bother with the mini statues and just go the mini bust and the full size. Now, in saying that, and as I've mentioned plenty of times before, pretty much once they went into full sort of, production mode, they had the Marvel license. They only did Marvel. They did do some odds and ends before they got the full Marvel license. They did some, DC stuff and some independent stuff and things like that. But yeah, so pretty much, I got into it and tried to become a completist, but obviously, a lot of money, a lot of time. Yeah, mainly a lot of money. And also a lot of, it takes up a lot of space. So, but I do have quite the selection to show you, over my journey. So, I did a full-size statue last episode. So this one I'll be doing a mini bust. But as I said, this stuff is all in storage. So sometimes trying to, go mini bust, full size is not always going to work. But yeah, today is definitely a mini bust, and it is Punisher. So I'll keep saying it, as I've mentioned plenty of times before. So with the mini bust boxes, obviously the trademark Bowen Grey designed boxes. But on one side, it'll tell you the specs of how tall it is and things like that, and also who sculpted the original prototype. But on the mini bust, this is what's on these that's not on the full size, is they actually give you a synopsis of the character themselves. Generally, they will give you two pictures. They will either give you the first appearance book, which in this case they actually have, ASM 129. Or they'll give you a book that's fairly close to the, the first release or the first appearance. And then they'll give you a picture of, so obviously, as you can see, it says then and now. They'll give you a picture of a book that was released sort of close enough to the release of the actual unit itself. The other thing to note is that there is an edition number on the bottom. Most of the time. There has been some odd instances. Sometimes when it's an artist proof, things like that, it won't actually have one on there. But you may have seen one if you've watched any of my other videos. I do have a few artist proofs and things like that. But yeah, I'll obviously note that when I do the videos. So this one's an edition of 5,000 worldwide. So rather larger sort of run. So this is probably a bit more of a standard run for one of the Bowen mini busts. They went from anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 up to about, I think, even 10,000 on some runs. So 5,000 sort of a run-of-the-mill sort of run for these. So anyway, let's open it up, show you what it actually physically looks like. And as I always say, on the styrofoam, you'll see either the Bowen Designs symbol or up, so you know which way to open it. Lucky this one's all in one piece. There's no extra bits and pieces. And there he is. So, as I've said before, The early phases, they didn't really go too heavy on doing designs on the base, and quite often the back would be fairly plain. Most of the detail just went into the front. They quite often didn't have arms and things like that. So obviously as the phases went along, they got a little bit more detailed. So as you can see in the base, it's not just a standard black base, it's got some skulls, you know, sort of a bit of granite and stuff like that in there. The bottom will have the edition number, which this one is 786, so fairly low-ish sort of number for out of the 5,000. But it'll also have like all the, you know, copyright, trademark sort of stuff on there. But yeah, so seeing he's got a fairly simple design, sort of costume. Obviously they went a little bit more sort of design on the base. Obviously holding the two handguns there, and he's even got a bit of the, you can see in his face, bit of the gruff 5 o'clock shadow going on there. So yeah, very, very cool indeed. So that is it. That is the Punisher mini bust from Bowen Designs. Yeah, so that will do for this particular video. So do all the usual YouTubey stuff. Hit that like button, you know, the one that's got the thumbs up thing, because apparently that helps with the algorithm. You see my content, gets more views, hopefully some more subs and more hours and all that sort of good stuff. So yeah, if you could do that, that'd be great. Leave a comment if you want to. Only if you want to, you don't necessarily need to. Maybe, and to be perfectly honest, you might even want to ask a question. Do you have an Iron Man, you know, one, or do you have like some obscure character or something like that? And, you know, I may be able to find it, maybe able to dig it out, or I'll give you, you know, or maybe just eventually I'll find one. But yeah, leave a comment if you want to, the usual sort of stuff. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. That would be fantastic. I'd absolutely appreciate it. And yeah, that will do for this particular video. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and Spidey out.